Hi, I'm Nancy Sasaki, President and CEO of United Way of San Diego County. Thank you to Oasis for inviting me to participate in this year's Vital Aging Conference in conjunction with the County of San Diego's Aging and Independent Services of the Health and Human Services Agency and Live Well San Diego. I'm excited to be here to tell you about United Way of San Diego County and how you can give back to the community. What if you woke up and were reliving a scene from 100 years ago? A pandemic has hit, people are getting sick and dying, there is confusion about what to do to be safe, and people are losing their jobs and they need food. Are you thinking, well, Nancy, that's not a dream? Are you thinking that's what is happening now or started happening 15 months ago? Well, that's my reality. Last year, we celebrated our centennial anniversary in San Diego County. 100 years ago, back in 1920, when the pandemic of 1918 struck, United Way formed so volunteers could help the community. Sound familiar? It's not Groundhog Day. Our work has always been focused on serving this community. How to ensure people have their basic needs met. Over the years, who we were serving may have changed based on the times, but we are here to spark breakthrough community actions that will make a difference in people's lives and elevate every child and family toward a brighter future. Our vision is to have a vibrant community built on opportunity for everyone. Getting to the specifics of today, our E.D.I.C.T 2030, and E.D.I.C.T stands for Ending Disparities in Communities Not Thriving. We are focused on working in partnership with others where we can align our goals and leverage our resources together to end these disparities, especially in the areas of education and family stability. We are involved in many programs, and I'll give you our website address at the end of this presentation so you can check it out. But what really aggravated me late 2019 were the data that said 80% of white and Asian students are at basic reading level at the end of third grade, whereas only 50% of their Black and Hispanic classmates are at basic reading levels. Do you know what reading level has to do with their future? It can actually predetermine whether or not they are going to graduate from high school and find whether or not they will be able to find a job that will cover their basic needs. Because at the end of third grade, you need to use your reading skills to start learning. If you can't read, you can't learn. In addition, if the family isn't financially stable, the stress of wondering what you will eat a meal that day, or if you have a place to sleep that night, not only adds stress, but impair a child's ability to focus on learning. We saw a lot of this play out last year, especially when everyone shifted to online learning. And parents had to figure out sometimes very basic things like an email address to keep up with the teacher's instructions and feedback. Those least able to support their families were the ones most likely to be on the front lines and most exposed to the virus. Our Earned Income Tax Credit Coalition works with 20 partner organizations who set up appointment sites throughout the county. And they assist low-income families access tax credits they probably didn't even know they were eligible for. Pre-pandemic, we helped bring back over $42 million in federal and state refunds, of which $15 million were earned income tax credits. Pandemic filing was hard hit by budget cuts and the inability of some of our partners to move to online applications. As we recover from the pandemic, we hope to exceed our pre-pandemic numbers because we know there will be more families eligible and in need of assistance because of the pandemic. Another of our programs, Advancing San Diego, is in partnership with several organizations focused on ensuring that a pathway from college, and that's both community college and four-year college, to an internship that leads to a paid job in their field of study. Our literacy works with the very young to help them have access to books and assist parents and teachers with someone to read to the children. Children in households without books enter school with as much as 1 million fewer words than those children with books in their homes. There are many other areas in which we are working, so you can learn more on our website. But what I really want to talk about today is what you can do about these needs. How can you get involved and give back to the community? How can you learn about what is available in your area, or maybe in your area of interest? Or maybe you want to find something that is safe, given that this pandemic threat we still have lingering. One of the pillars of our E.D.I.C.T 2030 is to create diverse ways of giving back. Of course, everyone knows that you can always give money. I don't know of a single nonprofit agency that won't take your money. How do you know if you are giving to a legitimate organization or one that is really making a difference? You can use GuideStar, the IRS's exempt organizations select check tool, or charitycheck101.org, or just call up the organization to find out about their work and tax exempt status. But what if you don't have money to give? You can also volunteer. There are two types of volunteering. One is giving of your time. You get to choose where, when, how much, and how often you give of your time, and what you do during that time. There's also something called skills-based volunteering. A bit more specific and maybe even longer term, but if you have a skill or have been trained in an area, there may be a nonprofit in need of that skill. For example, wildlife rescue associated with the Humane Society sometimes need people who can build animal enclosures or maybe even birdhouses. Someone with some carpentry skills might be interested in this kind of volunteering. Someone who works in marketing and PR could also lend their expertise to help a nonprofit design a communication and marketing plan. Or someone with computer skills or web design skills could help a nonprofit that needs the help but might not have the budget. United Way also offers a board service certification training, so you can be the best board member possible. Sometimes people don't join a board of directors because they aren't sure they have the skills or that they have anything to offer. Take this 6-week training, and at the end, you are well qualified to join a board. We even provide a matching service to help you find the right nonprofit for you and for them. But if you want to give of your time in some way that is more generic, then where do you start? 100 years ago, our community was small enough, you could probably just ask your neighbor. Today, not so much so. If you just want to check out the opportunities, we have 2 websites. One is focused on volunteer needs in the homeless area. If homelessness is your interest, you can check out the list of times and find something that works for you. You can sign up on the website, or you can call the organization. The second one lists volunteer opportunities around the county in a variety of areas. Again, you can check it out and sign up online or call the organization to find out more. But you are probably wanting to know about the needs. Do I even qualify? Do they need me? The answer is most likely yes, a resounding yes. So pre-pandemic, we would bring together teams of people to work on a project. It could be a department team within an organization, or maybe it was a book club or another group that just wanted to have a fun way to give back. We would set up a variety of opportunities, like one group from Alaska Airlines painted the interior of the new administration building for Barrio Logan College Institute. Another of that same set of employees stuffed backpacks with school supplies and a note of encouragement for the students. That changed so that during the pandemic, people would stop by our office, pick up a set of backpacks and supplies, go home, stuff them at home, and then return them to our office. And we would distribute them to the organizations. Team building was a bit more difficult during the shutdown, that's for sure. We also stuffed backpacks with hygiene supplies for the homeless. Another volunteer effort that we coordinated was to purchase age and culturally appropriate books from Warwick's. We distributed them to organizations working with young people and getting books into the homes. Also, shots in arms, like books in homes, which reminds me of another way to volunteer. Some people were or are able to volunteer to help out at one of the vaccination sites, directing people and checking them in. Those with medical and nursing backgrounds could also volunteer their time to give the shots. And another way, UCSD wanted to create opportunities for their students so students wouldn't leave campus for spring break. We teamed up with 3 other organizations to do beach cleanup, painting by number, pictures to give to other organizations, especially those that were setting up housing for the homeless, kindness kits with home and hygiene kits for families in Lemon Grove, and they put together literacy kits. Another way, there are also opportunities to record yourself reading a book, and that recording is made available to students, parents, and teachers, so the student can have a book read to them. People also can volunteer at one of the many food distribution sites around the county. Providing the food is fairly touchless with the box or bag set into the trunk. There is also a need for people to help sort and bag the food prior to the distribution. If you are interested in more outdoor activities, there's beach cleanup, helping in community gardens, or maybe working with animals at a dog shelter, wildlife shelters, or parks, or maybe even fostering them. There are a variety of range of opportunities. And as we come out of the pandemic and we each feel safe in the efforts we are providing, there will be so many other opportunities to give back, to volunteer your time. But maybe you aren't convinced volunteering is for you. I'll go a couple of different directions for this one with a personal story and one that's full of data. On the data side, studies have shown that volunteering and giving back is really good for you. You can establish a sense of purpose through your volunteer work. You see firsthand how important your time is to the people who benefit from it. It helps you keep mentally and sometimes even physically fit. Believe me, those bags or boxes of food are not light. Oh, just a side note, if you don't want to lift those boxes or bags, you can help direct traffic too. Volunteering may help you reduce your stress levels and even reduce your risk of depression. You can meet like-minded people who support the kind of organizations and work you are also supporting. And it may even help you live longer because it brings so much positivity and joy through your experience. My personal story is that when I first started working in the nonprofit field, I thought my work was good enough. It was a contribution to the betterment of my community. That's good stuff, right? But the first time I did some volunteer work, the difference was clear. Maybe it was because I wasn't being paid to do it. Maybe because I chose to do it. Then I felt really good about doing it. There was no reward other than knowing I was doing something good for someone else. You don't have to go back to 1920 to find out how people gave back during a pandemic. You can do it now, here in San Diego County. There are so many opportunities. Here are the resources you may want to check out. First are the websites you can use to check out a nonprofit organization. And second are the United Way resources. There are so many more opportunities than I listed here. Check it out and give back. It really is good for you. Thank you again, and have a great day.